Hey you guys, it's me SpongeBob #1 fan 2003 here, and as you can see I'm here with a super duper cool SpongeBob book, and this one is called Best in Show, and I actually just got this book as a Valentine's Day gift this year, and this is actually a very super cute little book, and I really love it. Okay, so as you can see on the front cover, there's adorable little Spongy Bobby with his pet snail Gary, and then there's Squidward with his little pet covered up by a cloth or like a little blanket or whatever, and this is a Nick's own book, and it was made by Scholastic. Okay, and then here is the spine really quick, and here is the back. So obviously here's a very small little description right here, and SpongeBob was playing fetch with his pet snail Gary. You can see that he's throwing a stick, and Gary's right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looking at the pages that are in this book. Okay. So right here is like a bunch of bubbles, and SpongeBob was holding a little flyer about Pet Show. And then there's adorable little Gary wearing like a mermaid tail, and Best in Show was made by Tracy West and illustrated by Vincent DePorter, or Vince DePorter, whatever the heck you'd want to call him. Okay. There we go. And this book really quickly was made in the year 2003, as you can see right there. And then here are all the chapters right here. And Barnacle Bites. Okay, so here's chapter 1. So a man comes to the Krusty Krab with a little pet show flyer, or like a little poster about, pet shows. And he gives a little flyer to Squidward. And then Squidward quickly reads it. And little SpongeBob actually hears about the pet show, and he says that he's going to enter Gary into the little contest. And Squidward says that Gary will be the best pet to, make the judges fall asleep or whatever. And, his pet will be much better. But SpongeBob says, "No one insults my Gary and gets away with it!" So... Oh yeah, here's chapter 2. So SpongeBob comes home from work, and he shows Gary the little poster about the pet show. And Gary's very nervous, but SpongeBob encourages him that, Gary's going to be the best pet ever, and everyone will know it. And again, SpongeBob encourages Gary. He gently pets his shell, and he'll ensure Gary that everything will be okay. And then chapter 3, so SpongeBob is waxing Gary's shell, and he's massaging Gary's eyes, and he's teaching Gary some new tricks too. Okay, and then the big day arrives. You can kind of see him right there, SpongeBob and Gary. Okay, so anyway, the big day arrives, and SpongeBob and Gary come to the pet show, and Squidward as well. And Squidward hears about the, barnacle bites, and he never wants to feed that squishy slop to his pet. Well, he doesn't really have a pet, but you get the picture. And then, Squidward reveals what his pet is, and it's just a little rock. And SpongeBob giggles a lot because a rock isn't even a pet, it's just an object. So now it's time for the stuff to start. So Squidward really impresses the judges with his rock, and SpongeBob encourages Gary to try his hardest. And then here's a, I guess, advertisement about barnacle bites, or actually no, this is an announcement for the most fashionable pet. So Rocky is now wearing a seashell bikini, and the judges really like that. And Gary is wearing a really pretty mermaid tail, and he looks absolutely fabulous, and SpongeBob says, "Work it, Gary, work it!" Okay, And now we're on chapter 5. So SpongeBob encourages Gary a bit more to try his hardest about all this stuff. Because, you know, he really wants Gary to wow the judges and the audience too. And now Squidward is telling Rocky to sit, stay, and play dead. And everyone really likes that. Surprisingly, a rock can't move unless if someone actually moves it themselves. And then SpongeBob encourages Gary again. As you can see, he encourages him a lot. So, I'm really sorry about that. Alright, and then Gary does a lot of sweet things, like he writes "I love the judges" in his own slime. And the judges really like that, and SpongeBob is very, very pleased. So, yeah, and then chapter 6. So now it's time for the final questions. So Fred officially asks Rocky what is the most important quality a pet can have, but of course Rocky won't reply, 'cause he's a rock! And, then he asks Gary what's the best quality a pet can have, and then Gary answers, well, of course SpongeBob translates for him. Gary says that a pet is also a friend and all that. And, you know, friends will do anything for each other. Friends respect each other's feelings. And unfortunately, sweet little Gary gets really upset. Aww. And then SpongeBob realizes that, you know, Gary did everything for him, and SpongeBob hasn't done anything for him at all, you know what I mean? Gary's done everything for SpongeBob, but SpongeBob didn't really respect the feelings and, you know, all that. Hold on a second, these pages. Okay, you can see that there. Okay, now we're on chapter 7, so Spongy Bobby bursts into tears and he apologizes to his pet snail. You know, he realizes that the contest isn't about Gary, and SpongeBob was the one who pushed him into this, and apparently little SpongeBob was only thinking about himself, but now he realizes that he was wrong. So, so Gary forgives him, and I love the fact that everyone else is crying along because, you know, SpongeBob learns a big lesson here. Okay? And then SpongeBob withdraws Gary from the contest because, you know, he realizes that Gary is already the best pet according to him. But of course, everyone's pet is the best according to them, of course, as well. Okay, so SpongeBob takes Gary home. And Squidward and Rocky are the winners, and a woman gives Squidward a big bouquet of flowers. Okay, and then unfortunately, it's also revealed that Squidward's picture is going to be on every single can of Barnacle Bites ever, and that makes Squidward so depressed and upset that he's crying. So he is crying because, you know, he really hates Barnacle Bites. And then that night, SpongeBob prepares a special treat for his pet, Gary. And SpongeBob realizes that SpongeBob says that Squidward might have won the prize, but he's got the best pet and the best friend in all of Bikini Bottom, and Gary agrees. That is so cute, and as I said when I reviewed the pet show, this is definitely the cutest pic of SpongeBob ever. I mean, look at him! Ah! Okay. But yeah, that's actually pretty much all for this book, and then here's a picture of SpongeBob holding the flaming hoop right there, as you've already seen in here. Okay, so that's actually pretty much all for Best in Show. I actually really super love this book. My favorite part was probably when SpongeBob realizes that, you know, he doesn't need to enter Gary into the contest, you know, to make people know that Gary is the best pet, because SpongeBob thinks that Gary is already the best pet and the best friend that he's ever had. And I just think that is really cute and sweet, and SpongeBob learned a really good lesson here. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh yeah, and also stay tuned for a comparison of this book with Pet Show sometime in the future. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So goodbye everybody, have a great day, and peace out.